Welcome into the 70th edition of Cleveland Sports Realm. And if you've been following along the last 69 now plus episodes, you know that I have been consistent with doing the episode number in honor of a former Cleveland athlete. I'm going to switch it around this time a little bit. Number 70, we are recording this episode just after 6:30 Wednesday evening. Quick housekeeping off the rip. About an hour and a half ago, news broke that Lou Holtz has passed away. Legendary head coach for Arkansas and Notre Dame, won national titles at each place, multiple for the Irish. And number 70 is a reflection of his overall coaching record percentage, believe it or not. He had a 70% winning percentage as a head coach. So we're going to do this episode in honor of him. I've got my Notre Dame gear on, as I do from time to time. So just wanted to do this episode in honor of legendary and Hall of Fame head coach Lou Holtz. So now we can begin the program. Jerome, I can pass it off to you, buddy. How are you doing this Wednesday evening?
Good evening. How you doing?
I'm good, buddy. How are you doing?
Good. And good evening to you, Derek, as well, on the other side of the glass. Well, I hate Notre Dame,
Okay.
but, Lou Holtz, by the time that I came around, my best memories of Lou Holtz are him making stupid ass arguments with Mark May on college football final with
Dr. Lou.
Yeah, with Reese
Davis.
Yes, thank you. Reese Davis is the judge with the gavel.
Yeah.
And those were fun, and I know obviously Lou Holtz was, big time at the University of Notre Dame, and so my condolences to him and his son Skip, who's been in coaching for a long time, Skip Holtz, and obviously the rest of Lou's family. And I wish I had more to say, but honestly, like I said, my memories of Lou Holtz were him on my television screen as a child when I was in my foundational days as a diehard sports fan. And obviously I know what he did at the University of Notre Dame and what he did at Arkansas. And I respected his opinion. Sometimes I thought he acted like an ass clown, but it doesn't change away from the fact that he was a legend, and rest in peace, Lou.
Yeah, and he was always, whether you were a Notre Dame fan or not, whenever you watched any of his analysis, he was always very biased in favor of the Irish, which I always loved, obviously.
Yeah, that aggravated me, but whatever. Quick
story about Lou Holtz, and then we can get on with the Cleveland sports area, or the Cleveland sports realm, as the show implies. My grandpa, actually, so if you've listened in the past, I've often said that my dad grew up in South Bend, Indiana. A huge reason why I'm a Notre Dame fan. My grandpa, actually, my mom's father, also grew up a diehard Notre Dame fan, so I got it from both sides. But funny story here, Notre Dame had lost, I forget what year it was, but they had lost to USC. And my grandpa had thought that Notre Dame had gotten screwed, and he actually wrote a letter to Lou Holtz about how, he should be proud of the effort the team had put in, and he thinks they got hosed, and, they'll be back next year, whatever it was. Lou Holtz actually wrote him back.
No, that's pretty damn cool.
I believe one of my uncles or one of my aunts actually has the letter that he wrote to my grandpa. So just a cool fun fact. So Lou Holtz, obviously huge Notre Dame legend, but holds a special place in me and my family's hearts for sure.
Yeah, that's pretty damn cool. I don't know how many head coaches would actually take the time to write back. So that's pretty damn cool, and obviously cool experience for your now late grandfather, and now the late Lou Holtz as well. So yeah, as someone from the outside looking in, that's pretty damn cool. And like I said, rest in peace, Lou Holtz. Honest to God, and I don't mean to be rude, I always thought he was older than he was. I can't believe he was only 89. That's still a hell of a long life to live.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And he had a wonderful one. Seriously, He affected a lot of people. So
good for Lou.
Yep.
And God bless you, Lou. You and your family.
Yep.
All right. So
shall we begin?
Yeah, let's begin.
Let's do it.
And where would you like to begin tonight? With the basketball, the baseball, the football?
I guess we might as well start with the football since we're essentially already on the topic.
Yeah. So let's start with the football. Coming out of the combine, Todd Monken had mentioned, he had done his press briefings, and obviously everybody tries to conclude shit out of the combine. We went through this process last year, and then this process was heavily, we talked about it with the Shedeur and Travis Hunter and Colorado connection. The Browns officially announced their staff, coming out of the combine. We knew who these guys all were for a while, but, was there anything that you took away from the combine that you actually believe, or do you think a lot of it was hogwash and horse shit like it usually is?
So there were two things specifically I saw that came out of the combine, and not necessarily the combine specifically, like for one of the players, but the combine specifically for another. Now, there's been a lot of talk about Monroe Freeling from Georgia now being like the number one tackle in this class, and a lot of it has to do with him being a true left tackle. When you look at some of these guys like Francis Mauanoa, Spencer Fano, like the other two big-time offensive tackles in this class, they're considered right tackles that would have to make the transition to left tackle, and that's, the Browns have already done that. The Browns did that with Jedrick Wills, and we saw how that turned out.
Didn't work.
Every case is different. I think Jedrick Wills had a work ethic problem. Quite honestly, I don't think that can be said for every single player in this class. I'm sure a lot of these guys would be willing to make that adjustment and work hard in order to do it. I'm still a big fan of Caleb Lomu, though, out of Utah, another true left tackle. I got to watch a little bit more of Freeling, though, because I didn't watch a ton of Georgia this year. Obviously, I watched some of Georgia. Stetson Bennett never seemed like he had too much pressure, though, coming from the left side.
It was Stetson Bennett.
Or not. Oh, my God. I can't believe Gunnar Stockton. I don't know why the hell I said Stetson Bennett. The guy's been gone for like 5 years.
Not quite that long. He was there for 7 years.
Right. But, and then another one is I saw, Ty Simpson. Todd McShay had said there's buzz about him going number 6 overall now.
Yeah, I think there's too much being made of the Ty Simpson of the Browns thing. Todd Monken simply, from what I took away, said, yes, his father and I had a connection at Southern Mississippi University. I respect the family a lot. Ty's a good kid. And suddenly that turned into a no-doubter. The Browns are going to draft Ty Simpson at 6. I mean, the conclusions people draw from this shit is mind-boggling.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's a shot they take him at 6.
No, neither do I. And I think the thing that we have to take away from there is you got to read between the lines with this stuff. And I'm going to speak for both of us. I think we're usually pretty damn good at it.
Yeah.
And what I took is the fact that they asked Todd Monken about the Browns drafting Ty Simpson, and I'm not discrediting that Ty Simpson's a really good kid and he comes from a really good family, but the fact that Todd Monken said nothing about Ty Simpson on the field, I don't know, that I kind of take away he's probably not that interested. Yeah, he knows Ty, and Ty's a good kid, and Ty was probably around Southern Miss when Todd was there. Okay, doesn't necessarily mean that Todd Monken's going to be sitting there pounding the table on draft night, pleading and begging Andrew Berry to pull the trigger on Ty Simpson at 6. I think that's a bunch of malarkey.
Do you think when it comes to the other player, Monroe Freeling, do you think that might just be like the Georgia connection there then? Or do you think that it's like legit buzz around him being the number 1 tackle in the class?
I think there's legit buzz.
I think there is too, because it's not just the Browns that have been linked to him that high. It's been a few other teams.
That I take away is people were really impressed with what he did at the combine, and that can shoot you up draft boards, sometimes unjustly. But
speaking of Sonny Styles,
yes,
what a ridiculous athlete. I mean, we already knew that he was a crazy athlete, but my Lord. He's like 6'5", and he had a 43.5-inch vert. Yeah, that's insane.
That's incredible. I think, the kid from Georgia, there's some real buzz there, and I think, Georgia offensive linemen, for the most part, there's been some misses just like every university, but they've been good. And, I'm not buying into the Georgia connection because I don't even know that Monroe and Todd were there at the same time, because you have to remember
Monroe was 2023 to 2025. So it'd be if was Monken in Baltimore for over 2 years?
Monken was out of Georgia after 22, I believe.
Oh, so they just missed each other. For some reason, I thought they overlapped a year.
Yeah, let me.
Not that should impact the decision to take him at 6 at
but
all.
Familiarity is a big.
It is, but also like.
Let me fact check the Monken thing and continue with your point. Go right.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna. I don't even know where I was going with that, honestly. Actually, I do. It's if Monroe Freeling wasn't playing his freshman year, which would have been the 1 year overlap with them, if that's exactly what happened, then the on-field play wouldn't have been a huge thing for Todd Monken in terms of him being at Georgia.
Right now. I was correct. I stand corrected. Todd Monken left Georgia after 22. He was with the Ravens from 23 through 25.
Okay, so they missed each other by a year because
Yes.
Freeling started in 2023.
Right.
Okay.
So.
Then never mind.
So, yeah, I think a lot of the crap that comes out at this time of year is BS. I mean, you still have 2 months, and what the bottom line is, what ends up happening is these football news outlets have stuff that they need something to cover, and before free agency starts next week. Now, speaking of offensive linemen, would you like to talk about the trade the Browns made for one?
Yeah, absolutely. I would. I for one loved it. I don't know about you.
Yeah,
I absolutely loved this trade.
I think it's a great trade, and it very much reminds me. It
kind of reminds me a little bit of the Cooper deal. I'm not going to lie, but a different position.
See, I thought the Judy because they gave him the immediate extension without him ever.
Okay,
playing
that's
on
a
the
fair
field.
one too. Then that's a fair one. I just hope it's not the Judy arc and he has a great year and then he stinks.
Right, and then year 2 was rough.
Yeah, what was the extension? It was 3 years, $60
million.
Right? Yeah.
So here
they're paying them.
So Kevin, why don't you go ahead and tell the listeners, for those who don't know, and most probably do, but explain the deal, please.
Yeah, so the Browns traded, I believe it was a 5th-round pick to the Texans for Titus Howard, who has been in the Texans organization, I want to say 5 or 6 years, former 1st-round pick, has primarily played at right tackle. He has played at guard before left guard and right guard, has not had the success that he has had at right tackle. So this is, to me, it's clearly a move that the Browns are doing to solidify the right tackle spot. I think this is also a huge pitch to Joel Bitonio. Hey, we got some help for you on the right side here. And now, if there is buzz, if we are going to take a tackle at 6, and it is Monroe Freeling, who's 6'7", about 320, hey, and we might be able to get you this behemoth on the left side of you here, that's 60% of your offensive line, at least for this upcoming year, including Joe Bitonio, that you can count on and really have some faith in. Howard's been a proven player, Bitonio's a proven player, and then the only thing that'll help whatever tackle we pick, whether it's at 6, 24, or in the 2nd round, they've got a Hall of Fame All-Pro to their right to guide them. So,
yeah, I like the trade a lot too. Now, Titus Howard's been with the Texans since 2019.
Yep.
He came out of a small school too, Alabama State.
Yep.
And I like the trade, and the reason why is because, let's face it, the Browns right now, technically speaking, Joel is not confirmed one way or the other. So, and if you go to the Browns media, don't get any solutions there because half of them tell you he's for sure gone and half of them tell you he's for sure coming back. Yeah. I don't think anybody really knows.
It is a true 50-50.
Yeah. And so they now at least have one starter penciled in at right tackle or maybe right guard.
I think it's right tackle for sure.
So do I. Now, what's interesting is Titus Howard has great pass blocking grades. The run, not so much. The run grades were not outstanding.
If he's a great pass blocker and he's a right tackle, it's a great blindside protector for Dylan Gabriel.
Okay, we're just gonna pretend you didn't say that.
Sorry, I just had to off of that. I know Dylan's got no shot. I just had to throw that in for you.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's gonna talk about trades. I think there could be one coming down that road.
Gabriel?
I don't think that they have any interest.
Yeah, but who's given up anything for him, honestly? And I'm a Dylan defender, as you know. But who's
his butt buddy, Kevin? He'll be thrilled to bring him as a 3rd-string quarterback in Atlanta.
I'm sure Stefanski would, but would the general manager for the Falcons want to trade a 5th-round pick for Dylan Gabriel? Probably not.
It doesn't matter what the general manager wants to do. It matters what the president of football operations, Mr. Matt Ryan, would want to do.
Sure, yeah.
Now, back to the Titus Howard trade. No, it's good. It's all good. the Browns needed to figure out how to at least solidify one. They need so much, and I hate to say it because he's a Buckeye, but you can't count on DeJuan Jones to pencil in this upcoming year.
Unfortunately not.
Every single year he has some kind of surgical operation on his leg. I mean, it was a knee surgery, it was a torn ACL. I mean, it's always something. So there's just no way you can count on DeJuan. Now, if you count on DeJuan as your swing tackle, I'm all in. That's wonderful. I think at this point, after 3 years, if anybody penciled him in for the 17-game schedule, that's just ludicrous and stupid.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he's got a proven track record at this point of not being able to play through a full season. And which does stink, because I really thought, even at the time that the Browns had drafted him, that was an absolute steal, getting a guy like that in the fourth
thing
round.
That sucks is DeJuan,
when he's on the field, it is a steal. Like, he has shut down T.J. Watt on multiple occasions when we faced the Steelers.
He's a good tackle.
Phenomenal tackle when healthy. Just
never is. So, yeah, no, it's a smart move. And I honestly, I expect, because Andrew Berry told us they're not going to be active in the free agent market, which we go back to last week's episode. Neither of us are shocked in this room. Go back to last week's episode, though, if you want to talk about that. And Andrew Berry's press briefing, we covered that pretty well last week's episode. But so if they're not going to be active in the free agency market, I expect the trade market to be active. It already has, and I expect that to continue, because this offense has to be rebuilt. You cannot run it the way it ran last year. And I think Todd knows that. Andrew knows that. Whoever is the quarterback, either Shador or Deshaun, whoever knows that. Like, it's got to change. And this is a small step in heading into the right direction. I think everybody at 76 Lou Groza Boulevard knows that.
Yeah, and that's kind of been a calling card for Andrew Berry, are the trades. Like, that he's been able to find pass, and we've talked about that, on plenty of episodes prior. Jerry Jeudy, both Amari Cooper deals I thought worked out to the Browns' benefit. The Zadarius Smith trade worked great. The Tyson Campbell trade, like, Andrew Berry has done a very, very good job when it's come to the draft day trade. Travis Hunter moving down 3 spots, getting Mason Graham. Now we have pick 24 and Quinshon Judkins as well. Even Dylan Sampson was a part of that deal.
Right.
Like, Andrew Berry has been very, very good when it comes to trades. And I believe there has been 1 or 2 that have not worked out in the Browns' favor.
Yeah, I can think of one right off the bat.
Yeah, Deshaun.
Yeah. I mean,
was there another one you were thinking of?
No, that's the one.
Okay. Yeah, I think there might have been another minor one that we might have barely lost.
It didn't work. It didn't really work out when they traded for Deion Jones a handful of years ago.
Deion Jones. They also traded for Nick Harris last year. They traded for him back after he had signed.
That was
away.
2 years ago.
Or 2 years ago, yeah. But, I mean, they needed a center at the time. So
yeah, that one's fine.
But, yeah, I mean, they have looked at rebuilding or retooling their offense and defense that way, more specifically on offense.
All right, and then let's flip gears to something not, and I'm pulling up the details right now because I want to make sure that I have it.
Yeah.
Obviously, the big news is of the day, the trade. Trent McDuffie is a Los Angeles Ram.
Yeah. Was it a 1, 3, and a 5?
Yeah,
I believe it was.
Oh, give me 1 second. I'm trying to find it. But anyway, your thoughts on that? I mean,
yeah. So I was texting with a few friends.
You are right. It is a one. The Chiefs got the first round pick of the Rams this year, the 5th, a 6th, and a 2027 third.
Okay, I thought the 5th was it was in 2027. I must have been mistaken. Either way, yeah. So a 1, 3, 5, and a 6 total is what they got for him. Yeah. So I was in a group chat with some friends discussing this, and a lot of people thought that the Rams had given up a ton. I think this was a phenomenal trade for the Los Angeles Rams. This isn't like when they traded, 5 or 6 years ago when they traded for Jalen Ramsey and gave up 2 firsts, and there might have even been something else in that deal. Like, you just got easily a top 10 corner. I think there's an argument for him to be around 7. Definitely, I wouldn't say top 5, but probably around that 7 range, 7 or 8. You solidify your number 1 corner spot. You were just in the playoffs this past year with the MVP at quarterback, and you just solidified your defense. And all you did was give up, the 3 and the 5 and the 6. A lot of those draft picks are kind of crapshoots So you throw in some mid-round picks, but you really only gave up a 1. I love this deal for the Rams. And they continue the trend during the McVay era of basically F them picks, because they never have any first-round picks outside of like Jared Verse, which they absolutely hit a home run on.
Yeah, they never do. Now, I think what it came down to is McDuffie and the Chiefs. The Chiefs don't have the salary cap room to sign him. He was due a mega extension.
Yep.
Not going to happen.
Yeah, get what you can. It's the same exact thing they did with Tyreek Hill. It's the same exact thing they did with him.
Right, and there is one downside to having the best quarterback in the league. You can't afford much else around him. And we've seen the Chiefs have to kind of deteriorate their roster the last few years. And I mean, to the point where they weren't really good last year. Like, people have been preying on the Chiefs' downfall for years, and we finally saw it. They were no good last year.
I think it's going to be a very similar arc to what the Patriots had, where they had won those 3 Super Bowls. And then I'm not going to say they went into purgatory, because they never did, but we didn't see them back in the Super Bowl for like 5 or 6 years. They get back, and then they win 3 more of them. Like, I think we're going to see that arc with this Chiefs team.
Well, I think
maybe not to that magnitude.
It all depends on when Mahomes comes back, because if he comes back, you give him a chance. If he's not around, I don't give him much of a chance.
Sure. Yeah, that's a fair point.
So, and then one other Browns thing, and this just broke a little bit before the show, and we've talked about this before, and I don't know. I hate talking about it because it's negative, but Myles Garrett was pulled over for speeding.
Yeah,
again.
I did see that.
The Gallux from Fox 8 reported it at 1:35 a.m. by the Sheriff's Department. He was clocked doing 94 and a 70 on 71 North. He was cited again. Now, we've talked about this time and time again. And the thing is, I get it. You drive a sports car, but like, dude, if you're going 25 over in a sports car, you are asking for a ticket. And I'm not going to go harshly criticize him, because I remember last year I defended Shador when he got pulled over for speeding.
I know.
And
I would actually criticize Myles even more. I mean, this is like the 6th time he's done this.
Right. And to be fair, and I'm not trying to, be a glazer, but, so far to our knowledge, Shador's never been pulled over for speeding again. It happened, once or twice. Myles Garrett, I mean, this has been his entire time here. And here's my thing. I have had my fair share of driving,
mishaps.
Yes, with speeding tickets and accidents.
Sure.
But once I had an accident that I was at fault in, it kind of changed me a little bit. Like, I feel like I'm a little more cautious, knock on wood. I feel like I'm a little bit more cautious now. But at the same time, I don't want to criticize other people, because, again, I have my own bad history. But, like, dude, you damn near killed yourself. And you're still consistently going 25, 30 over. Like, you got to chill out. And I'm not going to harp on it too much. I don't want to make too much of a story out of it. But, again, you had that accident in 2018 where, by all accounts, you should have been severely hurt. And by God's grace, you weren't.
And he had a couple scratches.
You got to slow down, big guy.
Yeah, no, absolutely, 100%. I've got nothing too much, honestly, to contribute to this. I know I dogged on Shador last year for it.
Oh, you went nuts.
But that was also because there was that was so short after, that was like, what, a month after the draft.
Yeah.
And all the drama was already circulating around him. And then that came out, and I was like, this is exactly why I didn't want to get involved in this, whatever. Also, Myles Garrett just set the sack record and is going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, and he's probably on the Mount Rushmore of NFL defenders in NFL history. Like, he's in that playing field.
I agree with you.
He's got to slow down. I'm not going to dog on him too much anymore. But it is unfortunate, because it is just another Browns update that you get, and you're like, oh, God, these guys.
Well, and my thing is, like, the Browns don't, and you're going to be, like, by all intents and purposes, they don't have usually your quarterback's the face of the franchise. Well, they have an unproven quarterback. We haven't seen enough, and then they have a quarterback who's just a albatross, as you point out every week, on the organization. Myles, you're the face of the franchise. You're the most marketable player. You're the best defensive player in the NFL. Like, it doesn't look good. It's not a good look. Mm-hmm. And I know that I defended Shador last year, but again, Shador didn't have 6 or 7 of them.
Yeah.
So that's all I got to say about that. Any other Browns things? I think we're good. I know the entire staff was announced.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's anything really to say about that.
Who they taking at 6?
I'm going to take right now. I'm going to join the hype parade. I'm going to take the tackle from Georgia, Freeland.
Is that who you would want too?
Yeah, I think so.
That's who you want. That's who you think as well.
Yeah.
Okay. I still want Downs, and I think it's going to be Tate. That's kind of been my stance for I think 3 or 4 episodes in a row now.
Yeah. The only
I think it's going to be a Buckeye, which should thrill this fan base.
Yeah, absolutely. Real quick, Browns coaching staff was announced. Now, I have not gotten a chance to listen to, and I apologize to our listeners because I have nothing to say regarding all 3 new coordinators talk today. Travis Switzer, Mike Rutenberg, and Byron Storr all spoke to the Cleveland media for the first time at the facility today. I will say this. The Browns did not cheap out on the staff. Sometimes you hear people cheap out on the staff. I mean, Monken has like 20-some coaches, like on both sides of the ball. So they certainly didn't cheap out on the staff. Just for a little fun exercise, the only holdovers, Christian Jones was held over but changed from tight ends to wide receivers. Deuce Staley still your running backs coach. Ibrahim Bandas was held over and promoted to pass game coordinator from safeties coach. Brandon Lynch was promoted to defensive backs coach. He was formerly the corners coach. Jason Tarver, run game coordinator and linebackers coach. He's been here since Kevin got here in 2020. And then Zach Dunn, he was here previously. And then Jacques Sierre, still the defensive line coach. So held over more, which makes sense. Monken's an offensive coach, so he wanted his own guys. Held over way more defensive guys. Are you surprised he held over this many guys, though? Or
what was the exact number again?
I just went through the names.
I know. I think it was like no. It's
1,
my apologies.
2, 3, 4. Everybody wants to hear me count, right? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Sorry,
5,
I should have been counting as you were saying it.
6, 7.
Okay, you know what's funny? I was going to say how many hold over, like 6 or 7. Yeah, that's a third of the staff.
Yeah.
If it's 20,
yeah,
that's over a third of the staff. So yeah, I'm a little bit surprised that he held over that many people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you?
I'm not surprised on defense because that's not his expertise. So
yeah,
I think if Rutenberg wanted to keep those guys, fine. I actually know that Banda, who was promoted to pass game coordinator. I want to make sure I didn't mix up him. Yeah, pass game coordinator. I know for a fact he did interview for a few DC jobs. So did Brandon Lynch. So the fact that both those guys, maybe they sniffed around and they'll probably both go next year and get DC jobs. But the fact that they were both able to come back, Jason Tarver, good for him. I mean, not calling people out, but calling people out after Jim Schwartz, threw a fit about not getting the head coaching job. Jason Tarver could have easily thrown a fit that they picked Rutenberg over him. He decided to come back as a linebackers coach. Now I know they added a little title to it, run game coordinator. Okay.
Sure.
So that probably came with a nice little chunk of change too. Yeah. But offensively, no, you know what? I'm not surprised that the only 2 he held over were Christian Jones and Deuce Staley because that is his side of the ball and his expertise.
Yeah.
So no surprises there. But overall, I mean, I like the staff he built. I have no criticisms of the staff he built. I always thought Kevin built pretty good staffs here. So the fact you're holding over many of those, all Schwartz's army, essentially, I think it's going to set Mike Rutenberg up for some success, hopefully. And also, by the way, the top 5 talent on the field defensively should set Mike up nicely as well.
Yeah, I think so too, especially having those guys on that side of the ball. Like we were talking about last week too, that have familiarity with the players on that side of the ball. They can even tell Rutenberg, like, hey, honestly, in these situations, this is what we typically did. Right. And then if he wants to make that adjustment, that's on him. But he has the expertise of the people that were here last year that saw what did and didn't work in certain situations. So, yeah, I mean, I'm happy that they held over that many on that side of the ball. And then only holding over 2 on offense, Jerome, just, kind of piggybacking off what you said, it does make sense. That's Monken's side of the ball. He's going to want his say on, or he's going to want his guys that he's familiar with to be on that side of the ball with him. So I've got no issues with how the staff was built.
I am surprised there was a decent amount of guys that came here with Todd over going to the Giants with John. But we talked about that in a couple episodes back when these guys were all rumored, but it did become official this week.
Just got some news before we pivot to a different sport potentially. The Steelers just released Jonnu Smith to save $7 million in cap space. So felt like while we're on the topic, and might as well talk about another AFC North team making a move. So.
All right. Well, interesting. All right, let's switch to baseball. The WBC technically with pool play begins today, and that will happen later tonight. Chinese Taipei will be taking on Great Britain. Chinese Taipei will be taking off Australia tonight. And if you want a Guardians connection there, Travis Bazzana is playing for Team Australia, and super geeked nerd Guardian fans like me, and even you to an extent, will remember this guy. Yu Chang.
Of course I remember Yu Chang, utility infielder.
Yu Chang will be leading his Chinese Taipei squad.
It didn't matter whether we were winning or losing. He always had a smile on his face.
He did. And Yu Chang, I don't know what it is. That guy cannot hit in the majors. He doesn't even play in the majors. I think he plays in the Korean baseball organization now. But boy, when it comes to WBC time, when that guy gets to put Chinese Taipei across the chest, he turns into a different behemoth, man.
He's proud of where he's from.
I remember, and friend of the show, Phil Yan, will remember this moment. We're both super ultra baseball geeks, so we're watching a preliminary WBC game like tonight between Great Britain and Chinese Taipei. Chinese Taipei down 3-0 in the 8th, and you delivered a grand slam.
Give him the lead, huh?
And so let's talk, I guess, a little bit of WBC. We're not going to spend too much time on it. USA, if you're curious, for the home nation, we just won in hockey. Can we win in baseball? First game in prime time, Friday night, 8 o'clock against Brazil. Another Guardians connection. The hitting coach for Brazil will be none other than former Silver Slugger Guardians catcher, Yan Gomes. So, but I will say this, as far as USA to win it, we all know what happened last time Ohtani struck out Trout. Yeah. How quickly things change. Trout didn't even make the team this time. Yep. Ohtani still being the best baseball player in the world, supposedly not going to pitch. We'll see. I believe them to a certain extent, but I feel like if Japan gets in the title game and they need a couple innings from Shohei, they might do it.
I think so too.
But either way, not that I'm, an expert on the WBC, but I do watch it every year, so I'm going to give my opinion to our listeners and whether they want it or not. If you don't like it, so you can skip over it. There's options on all three of our platforms. So I think what you're going to come down to is the United States. And if the United States doesn't get to the Final Four, I think it'll be a massive failure. This is probably the best WBC roster they've had. Venezuela, I think, is loaded. That's a really good team. DR, we always know the DR is always a factor. Jose not playing for the DR, though, but former friend and one of my favorites at 40 years old is still going to be the DR first baseman, Carlos Santana. And then I think Japan. Those are the four I think are the best in the whole world, and that's who I think your Final Four is going to be. I know people usually say, well, what about Puerto Rico? Puerto Rico's down. I mean, they did not have a lot of their big guns. No Lindor, for one, and he's usually their best player. So, that's what I think. We'll obviously, not spend too much time on this tournament, but we'll probably focus on it, but be more United States centric, I would assume, is probably our plan moving forward. But again, their first game's Friday night against Brazil, and Logan Webb's going to toe the rubber for the United States of America.
Okay. I was looking at the roster. Honestly, right before we were recording, I'm looking at it again, and it is an absolutely loaded roster. I mean, Skubal, Skeens.
Now, the thing with Skubal, I guess he's not going to pitch. He's only going to pitch a game or two, and then he wants to get back to Tigers camp. I mean, I can understand from his point of view. You're in your free agent walk year. You're trying to maximize to get, the biggest pitcher contract of all time. But, my thing with that is, and maybe this is going to sound like a get-off-my-lawn guy opinion, I get it. You're Tarek Skubal. You get to do what you want. But, if you only planned on throwing one game, give the roster spot to somebody else. Like, there's somebody out there who's in a major league camp right now who would be dying to put the red, white, and blue across from your chest. And if you're going to go out there and half-ass it and only pitch, so what? You're already telling me that let's say the United States gets into the knockout round and we need a big start. We can't have Tarek Skubal because he wants to go back to Tigers camp. Give that start to somebody else. And again, maybe I sound like a get off my lawn guy, but I don't know. What do you think about that?
No, I actually agree with you. If you're gonna basically say, yeah, I'm gonna be part of the team, but I'm only gonna be partially part of the team. It's the WBC. We need you whenever we need you. You know. So I do agree with you to a point. Although I also can't really blame Skubal for wanting to get back to Tigers camp at the same time, and also wanting to be a part of the WBC.
In his walk here, and
so from his stance, I get it.
Sure,
from our stance,
it sucks.
We get it. And from Team USA stance, I get it because you want Skubal on the roster no matter what.
Right.
So
no, I agree with you because again, and if there's somebody who's not the best pitcher in baseball, they probably don't get to do this at half in, half out. But when you're Tarek Skubal, you kind of make the rules, and it's your world.
Yeah, if Tanner Bybee said, you know what, I'll play one game for you. You know what, we'll just go on to the next guy. Yeah.
There's a lot of other guys who want to wear red, white, and blue across the chest. So all right, I know we're kind of going all over the place tonight, but that's just the kind of episode it is here on the CSR.
Yeah.
Let's switch to college basketball. And again, we got to keep shouting them out. Producer Eric's Miami of Ohio Redhawks are now 30-0. So, I think this is a fun story to watch. Now, Bruce Pearl came out, the old Auburn head coach, now a television analyst, and he said, I don't think they deserve to be in the tournament. I think that's outrageous.
I think that's pretty outlandish.
Somebody said the only reason that Bruce Pearl's saying that is because Yale beat Auburn a few years ago, and he probably hates mid-majors. That's probably, I don't know if that's necessarily true, but, I get it.
I just don't get it, man. With all of the teams that make the tournament, why are you going to have a problem with 30-0 Miami of Ohio? Which I know they don't want to be called that anymore, by the way.
Yeah, I know. But
I'm calling them that.
We're calling them that. Sorry, you're not the U in Florida.
No.
You're 30-0, but you haven't earned that yet.
That's right.
All right, but listen, somebody's 30-0 in Division I basketball, and I get it. Their analytics aren't that strong. They didn't play a strong non-conference schedule. Let's call it for what it is. When their athletic director made the schedule, he probably never had envisioned that they'd be 10-0, let alone 30-0. All right?
100%.
So, maybe they didn't schedule, Duke, North Carolina, Auburn, and Kansas for their non-conference schedule. But let's give them some credit for being 30-0.
Absolutely.
And I don't really think I give a shit what happens in the MAC tournament. I think they ought to be in there. And obviously, we'll see what happens in the MAC tournament. The best case scenario for them.
No, they got to be in there no matter what.
The best case scenario would be for them, obviously, is they win the MAC tournament. They get the AQ, automatic qualifier.
Right.
But again, I just think it's kind of bullshit to be 30-0. And let's say that they hypothetically lost in the MAC tournament to a team they have no. Let's say they lose to Ball State, who's not very good in the MAC tournament. They're 30-1. So you're going to really hold them out for one loss? I think it would be.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it would be a travesty if the Redhawks are not on our screens for the NCAA tournament.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree, especially, when you transfer sports or when you look at the other college sport in football, when you got Alabama with 3 losses making that college football playoff.
Right.
And I know it's a different system, don't get me wrong.
Okay,
but that's a bigger argument for Miami of Ohio to make it. They've won more games. They have less losses. There's more teams that make it. Yeah. Get them in the tournament no matter what.
And I also can go back and I kind of point being, okay, you gave Tulane the chance in football. And I know we're making an argument that's kind of invalid because it's different people picking it.
Exactly. But also I do think the points are valid here.
Right. You let Tulane in there. You let James Madison go out to Oregon to play a scrimmage. I mean, come on.
100%.
Put the Redhawks in there. You let James Madison go from Virginia, from all the way across America, from Virginia from the Atlantic to the Pacific to play a scrimmage and give Oregon a warm-up game before Indiana beat the crap out of them. But either way, so just real quick on that. And while we're on basketball, let's switch gears to the Cavs, huh?
Yeah, please. I'd love to talk Cavs.
Yeah, absolutely. So they win last night. They beat the Pistons without Donovan Mitchell still with the groin. And they win 113-109. That's 2 in a row. They beat the Nets on Sunday. I know that they lost the Pistons last Friday. We both lost that game. We kind of thought maybe they got screwed, but they also blew it all in one. I will say this. Harden did play last night, and he had 18 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, but he shot 5 of 17 from the floor. Obviously, hopefully Harden, the thumb injury doesn't hamper him too much, but I like that they beat the Pistons.
It hasn't so far.
No. I like that they beat the Pistons last night without Donovan Mitchell.
Donnie.
And I'm going to say this. I understand. I know where they are in the standings. I kind of like the spot the Cavs are in a whole hell of a lot.
I like the spot they're in, too. I will say the way that they choked that game away against the Pistons a few nights prior.
They got their revenge back at the
Yeah,
arena.
they got their revenge. But I will say that was such a disappointing way to lose that game, too, because winning the last... If 2 out of your last 3 wins were against the number 1 seed in the conference, I mean, you're riding an ultimate high right now. Not that we aren't, because the Cavs, ever since they made that, even just before they made the Harden deal, have been on an absolute roll, and they haven't really slowed down since the All-Star break, which is what they typically do, which gives me a little bit more confidence in this team going forward, because this is different. Ever since 2021, they've come out of the All-Star break very, very lethargic. And so to see them still upbeat, still getting wins, obviously it's very short after the All-Star break. Things can change. And much like baseball, it is a season full of stretches. So when the Cavs inevitably go on a 2-game losing streak, maybe even 3, let's not lose our minds about it. So let's hope that they get hot at the right time, with maybe even a 3-game win streak going into the playoffs. I know that's a little bit down the line, but it's also not. It's kind of right around the corner here. We're kind of rounding third and heading home right now on the NBA season right now. So yeah, I'm confident in the Cavs right now, especially getting that win over the 1 seed without their best player. And can I just say, I think Jalen Tyson might be Kobe Altman's best draft pick ever. And that includes Evan Mobley, Darius Garland, Colin Sexton. And the reason I say that is Evan Mobley was one of those players that was kind of, the top 3 was solidified that year. It was Cunningham, Green, Evan Mobley. It was assumptive that Cunningham was going 1. He was the odds-on favorite. And then Green, Mobley, we didn't really know until a few weeks prior to the draft that it was probably going to be Green going to Houston and Mobley to Cleveland. Garland was kind of wasn't the popular pick at 5. He took him anyway, ended up working out. Quite frankly, for what was picked after him, it worked out great for the Cavs and what they were able to get. But nobody going into the, what would it have been, 2023 draft? 2024 draft. Like Jalen Tyson wasn't really on a lot of people's radar. And we took him, and he's worked out, way better than Isaac Okoro ever was for this Cavs team.
Wow. Better than you say that's a shock.
Better than just about anybody we've tried to fill that 3 spot with. Seriously, even Lauri Markkanen was fantastic here. He was only here for a year, but Tyson just knows his role, man. 6'6", 6'7", long wingspan, plays good defense, jumps up for the rebound. He gets more rebounds than you would think for a guy that size playing the wing, and he doesn't take stupid shots, and he hits his open jumpers, and he'll even hit a contested 3. The way that he fits into this starting lineup is perfect. I could not be happier with Jalen Tyson right now.
Well, last night he continued, he led the team in points last night. He had 22. And I agree with just about everything you said on Tyson. I can't add too much more else there because he's been great.
I know I kind of ranted on him.
No. I'm glad that Jalen Tyson deserves his due, and I'm glad that you gave it to him.
Yeah, maybe not the best specific player that Kobe Altman has drafted, but in terms of value and where you drafted him, I think it's his best draft pick, hands down.
I also think, a lot of times we hear about guys making jumps from year 1 to 2. Tyson didn't really play a lot last year, and
no,
the Cavs kind of internally we kept telling you Jalen Tyson's really gonna, but they obviously people always say that about their rookies from year 1 to 2, but Tyson's
really made that jump, man.
Put it into practice, and he's become someone this team can count on night in and night out, and you gotta love to see it.
Absolutely.
On the Cavs, they actually they've played a lot of games lately. Like they've been, they had, since the All-Star break, they've been playing nonstop. They actually have a good rest here now. They don't play until Sunday again against Boston, 1:00 on ABC. For those of you in the Cleveland area, that'd be Channel 5. So
we'll have to leave early. We're going out of town this weekend. We got to leave early to get home in time for that game.
And we're even taking Derek with us.
Yeah, we're taking producer Eric. Yeah, he's making the trip with us.
Yeah, so
last minute add-on.
Yeah, so that they get this nice rest, and then this will be a good stretch coming up because then you have Boston. We keep saying that, but it is like it continues to be interesting stretches because then you go home on Sunday against Boston at 1:00. Monday you come right back. You stay at home, which is nice. No travel. So you don't get in late, or anything like that. Monday you play Philly at home. Then Wednesday you play down in Orlando. And then Friday you play in Dallas. And then Sunday you play home against Dallas. So you have 5 games next week. So boys better be resting up. I don't want to see any of you on West 6th Street at the Barley House. Rest up, fellas.
Yeah, I
James
think
Harden, stay out of the flats and the strip clubs.
We'll see some load management decisions for sure coming this upcoming week. I'm sure Harden will get at least one of these games off, maybe even 2, just with the thumb injury.
I know that
I'm sure Evan Mobley
probably
won't feel like playing basketball one night, so he won't play.
No, enough on Evan Mobley.
He tends to do that.
I know. Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can get I'm gonna see if I can get a friend of the show, Philly Ann's Evan Mobley bobblehead he acquired today. I'd like to place it right here in the center in front of the camera. Phil,
I'm gonna say this right now.
Phil, next time I see you, give me that Evan bobblehead. I'm gonna put it right here, front and center.
I know he's either watching or listening because he does every week. He's one of the most loyal listeners that we have, if not the most loyal. Please don't. Thank you. That's all I got to say.
Phil, give me that Evan Mobley bobblehead, bro. I want to see that thing right here, front and center. All right. Anyway, I know it's crazy to say, but like I started this conversation out by saying I like the spot the Cavs are in. I almost with the Cavs think that like it's crazy because it's still kind of a younger group, but it's also a veteran-led group with Donovan and James, and Jared Allen's a veteran now at this point too. Like, I almost don't really care.
Dennis Schroeder even.
That has been. We're gonna have a conversation about him here in a second.
Okay.
I think the spot the Cavs are in so much. I don't really care as long as like they're in the top 4. Like that's my.
As long as they have home court the first round, you're fine.
Yeah, and as of right now, that is factual. You got Detroit ahead of you. You got Boston ahead of you. You got the Knicks ahead of you. And then you're a game and a half behind the Knicks.
I will say I do want to see them be top 3. I think there's just something about not having that middle game, whether you're a 4 or 5. I'd like to see them at least top 3. Obviously, the end goal would be 1 or 2. I think the highest they can probably realistically look at is probably 3.
Yeah, I don't.
I mean, realistic. I mean,
they could.
They're only 3 games behind Boston.
Yeah.
And Boston, the jury's still out on Tatum, on whether he's coming back or not.
I don't think he is. I think that's
I'm hearing a lot of people talk about him coming back, man. And if he does, I don't care whether he's played or not this year. Like, the Celtics are the favorite in the East if Tatum comes back.
I probably agree with you, unfortunately. We'll see how we do.
I can tell you're trying to find a reason to not.
Yeah, I can't really come up with anything. We'll see about Tatum. Not Tatum, but we'll see about playing the C's on Sunday.
Yeah. So
and also the good thing is Donovan with the groin. This is going to give him, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 4 nights that maybe he can play on Sunday. Hopefully.
Yeah.
I'll put it this way. I think I'd rather, just because I want to see how we match up, and I know the Cavs can't look at it like this and their training staff can't. I'd rather see Donovan play on Sunday, even if that means he can't play against the Sixers on Monday.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I want to see how he.
I want to see what he looks.
Yeah,
what he looks
how
like
he
right now, especially against the Celtics.
Against the C's, right?
100%.
Right.
Now, if Tatum doesn't come back, who's your favorite out of the East right now?
The Cavs or the Knicks. I still like better than Detroit.
I think 100% agree with you. I think Detroit is so similar to that 2021 Cavs team. Right before they got Donnie, where they were the 1 seed.
You could talk about last year's Cavs team too, who, crapped down their leg and.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. But I mean, just in terms of how the team has developed, like it's basically like the Pistons team's essentially their core that they drafted that is just developed.
With Tobias Harris helping out.
Sure. Yeah. Which former Piston before he was even a Piston.
Right.
So, yeah, with Tobias Harris helping out. Really, seriously, though, it's like that 2021 Cavs team, all their young talent was developing, and then you had, it's not Tobias Harris, but you had Kevin Love on the team that was just coming off the bench and hitting shots.
And the Pistons have a couple vets, too. Like, I remember last year how much Schroeder helped that team, and I think this is a perfect transition because I know James Harden's going to be the guy that you're really hoping to push you over the top. Boy, I don't think Dennis Schroeder could have played any better since he showed up here. He plays every night. He is the perfect backup point guard. I've always loved this guy, and I'm just so happy that when he finally hit his 29th team, it was the Cavaliers. No, I'm just kidding. But no, seriously, like his 12th or 13th team. I'm happy it was the Cavaliers. Like, this guy just, he knows who he is at this point. He's not trying to play for anything.
He's not reinventing the wheel.
More than a vet's minimum, and he just goes out there, plays solid defense, shoots decent from three, and runs the second unit extremely efficient.
He does. And the other guy that we got in that trade too, Keon Ellis, whenever he's on the court, you feel his presence out there.
Yeah.
He is a loud defender. And by that, I mean, when you are watching the game, you notice how good his defense is.
And I mean, he's dealing with a couple injury issues of his own. He only played 7 minutes last night, but I was listening, I was out and about on Sunday, and I was listening to the end of the Cavs game, and Keon Ellis was in the locker room after the game saying, I didn't even feel good today. And he had like 6 steals against the Nets, and it's like, I want to see how good your defense is when you do feel good.
He's a special defender, man. Seriously. And looking back at that trade, one that I was not fond of in the moment, and one that has clearly worked out to the Cavs' benefit, and I'm so happy that it has. I do wish, I'm nitpicking here, I do wish Ellis was like a couple inches taller, just because if he gets switched on to a 3. Like, he's definitely at a mismatch, like going up against somebody who's potentially 6'7", 6'8", somewhere in there. Like, they can just shoot over top of him. But, if that's what it is, then that's what it is, Like,
right. I'm not going to be too upset.
Yeah, I mean, you can't control the guy's height. I mean, he's doing what he can out there.
Right, right. He's been
great.
Excellent.
Great defender. And, obviously, he's a decent enough three-point shooter, too. So,
all right.
I've been happy with Keon Ellis.
We'll keep all that in mind. Obviously, conference tournaments are, the non-power power conferences tournaments are starting this week. I know Cleveland State plays tonight. Actually, they're probably in action right now in the Horizon League tournament. And then next week is when the big boy tournaments all happen. We got the Big Ten and the SEC and the Big East.
Yeah.
And the ACC. All those tournaments will happen, of course. So this is the time of year where a lot of folks who haven't watched a single stitch of college basketball all year will be turning their TVs on and getting ready. And obviously, I know we don't talk too much about it, but this is the time of year where I think that we try to gauge what our audience would like and so on and so forth. And this is the time of year I think even the most of casual college basketball fans get in. So get ready for some college hoops talk the next couple of episodes, I think. And then
absolutely.
I do think as of now, nothing official. We do plan to have our Guardians preview show again. And that'll be coming, no date set, but I believe probably we're going to shoot for that the last week of March because opening day is going to be the 28th in Seattle. So probably, ideally, we'd like to, I think, have the preview show come out that Thursday morning, I think.
Yeah, so you said what, 28th?
28th is that Thursday.
The 26th is that Thursday.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I listen to Kevin, not me right now.
Yeah, no. So we'll have it out. The preview show will be set to release on the 26th then. Mark it on your calendars now.
Yep, absolutely. Oh, real quick.
Yeah.
I'm not worried yet because I think he's still one of the only major league hitters they have in camp. Worried about Reese Hoskins being 1 for 10 with a whole bunch of Ks. I'm not.
I'm fine with it, man.
Yeah, I think it's just guy got a late start to spring training.
Sure. Yeah.
Ironing out
I think it's probably this. That's probably exactly what it is.
Right.
So I'm not concerned in the slightest.
He is 1 for 1 in challenges though on the new ABS. So good for him there.
Oh.
Yeah.
There you go, Reese.
All right. That'll do it for this week's show. I know we kind of jumped all over the place, but there was a lot to cover in a lot of different areas, and we try to do it all.
I think we still kept it. I think we still kept a pretty decent flow. We moved from topic to topic. Okay,
yeah,
I thought
we did. We did. Usually we spend more time on each topic, but again, there's a lot of little things we had to hit on, but nothing that warranted our time for an extended period of time. So that's the way we did it here. All right, Derek was on the other side of the glass. He produced the program, so
good job, buddy.
Good job. Kevin did a good job sitting in his seat talking.
Thanks, man.
And I think I did an all right job in my seat.
Yeah,
talking.
I thought you did a great job.
All right, and if you want to hear us talk, well, you can do that on Spotify or Apple Music. And if you want to, or Apple Podcasts, excuse me, and if you want to watch us talk, you can do that on YouTube or Spotify video. And if you want to see additional content and do other things, you can do that via the social media. And that is via Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. We posted one last week about Reese Hoskins. So if you haven't checked that out yet, please do. And then also, please like and subscribe this podcast. And I saw a couple of you commented last week, and
we love it.
I reacted to those when I did have a chance to, and please continue doing that. That will do it. We hope you have a great rest of your week, and thanks for listening to the 70th edition of the Cleveland Sports Realm. We'll see you next week for 7-1.
Go Cavs.